Hi everyone, and welcome to Tap Into Your Creativity in my studio today. I'm very excited to have LaDara joining us today from Charlotte, North Carolina. She is an abstract contemporary artist, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her and get to know her. And she is going to join us and tell us all about her work and her growing up, where she grew up in Japan, in Hawaii, just all over. So she has an incredible history to tell us. So I can't wait for LaDara to join us. And there she is. And give us a second till we connect. And you are going to love her as much as I have. Hey, LaDara, how are you? Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited that you're here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. So tell us your name and where are you from and where are you right now?
All right, so my name is LaDara with LaDara Fine Art. I don't say I'm necessarily from anywhere because I grew up in a military family. So I've lived in Okinawa, Hawaii, and North Carolina. Currently, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wow, that's incredible. So was your dad part of the military? Is that why you moved so much?
My dad was in the Marine Corps for 24 years, so we just moved around, and he's been in the military since I was 4. So we
Oh
started
my
in
God,
North
please thank
Carolina.
him for all his service. It's incredible.
Okay, I will.
How was it being a daughter of a Marine and having to
Um,
move all over?
it was my dad's pretty strict. He doesn't say too much, so when he does say something, it's kind of like, oh, he really means that. um, and moving around a lot, I didn't really get to meet like a lot of friends. So it was like, I had like maybe one or two friends. But the good thing about it is that usually the cycle that we went through of moving, they usually do the same cycle. So it's like some people I knew in Okinawa, I saw them in North Carolina. Some people that were Okinawa, I saw them in Hawaii, even Hawaii to North
Oh,
Carolina. So yeah,
so did
just a
you
couple people.
stay? Yeah, so it was like the same community kind of moved to all these places?
Kinda, but it was always a lot of different people. So it's like if like for the Marine Corps, you have to find a Marine Corps base. So you can't be like on an Army base or a Navy base.
Got it. And so tell me a little bit about growing in Japan. How was that experience for you?
So that in Japan, it was lovely. That's where I learned, like, that's where my love for art began. My mom says I've always been artistic, so that's when, like, I won my first art competition there when I was like 10, and
Oh,
yeah, I had a painting in their museum there as well, so it was pretty cool. And I'd won a couple competitions when I was younger there, so it was amazing. I saw like glass being blown, statues, all of that. It's beautiful.
wow. We were lucky enough that we were there exactly a year ago. And, you know,
Nice.
the culture and the people and the art is just everywhere. It's so inspiring.
Yes, I do agree.
So is that where you think that you started thinking like, okay, this is what I would like to do, or not really?
um, I would say I always drew like Hello Kitty and Pokemon, stuff like that, and characters. So I was like, if I can do this, not necessarily like a painter, but more I wanted to do like video games and cartoons, stuff like that, like
Yeah,
animation.
yeah. So how old were you when you finally moved back to Charlotte?
Um, well, I moved to Charlotte when I went to college.
Okay,
But I lived in Cherry Point. It's on the East Coast, so I was starting 10th grade.
okay.
So
Yeah.
Maybe like 15. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe 15, 14, 15. I moved back to North Carolina and I went to high school there and I went to community college in Eastern North Carolina where ECU is. And then I came to Charlotte to do metalsmithing and I thought they had
Oh,
metalsmithing here. Yeah, I wanted to do metalsmithing. That's the whole point of moving to Charlotte, but UNC Charlotte didn't have metalsmithing.
I didn't
And
know
so
that about you. So what did you do?
um so since I didn't have metalsmith, I got into metalsmithing because I took a class with a really great, encouraging professor. And I broke every little saw there was. It was like you had to cut the middle, so that was a lot. So it ended up it was like, oh, I'm gonna go get a bachelor's degree. So for me to be able to basically when I came up here, I didn't have it. So I was like, I didn't want to major in like painting or ceramics or anything like that. So I ended up just doing studio art. So I just was able to experiment with all mediums. So
Okay.
I did a painting class, I did an installation class, I did ceramics. That's how I found out about ceramics, and I do ceramics now. That's how I fell in love with clay on accident. So yeah, I think it was really beneficial to do studio in college because you don't just focus on one medium.
So what kind of ceramics do you do now?
I do hand building, like I hand build with coils and I build them into big vessels and I paint them with abstract. So they look something like this um, at a clay studio in Charlotte. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's amazing. So what is the difference you think? I know it's a huge difference, but like material wise, um, do you like digging more into painting or ceramics or both?
It would have to be both. The reason why I like when I paint really quickly and I'm like in the moment. I have like all the marks and I'm just going for it. And with ceramics, it slows me down a little bit because you have to worry about air bubbles and all the things that come the science that comes with clay. So it slows me down to forming it and I like it organic anyway, so I still have to slow down.
Do you have any examples of your ceramics there?
Um, no, not near me.
We forgot to even talk about
Yeah,
this. I would have had to
yeah.
have something there. Um,
Um, I just moved. I literally moved into my apartment yesterday. So everything's
yeah,
still
the
packed.
fact that LaDara is here today with us, it's a huge deal. So thank you for making the effort to put everything together for us today. So tell us, when did you decide that abstract was something that attracted you? Abstract
Um,
painting.
so I would have to say 3 years ago, I painted my first abstract painting because I felt something when I painting. Like I know how to do traditional art, like still lifes and portraits, all that stuff, but I never like had like a provoked feeling inside. So that's when I was like, oh, I gotta do this because I got all the feelings right now. And I get really energetic when I paint. So it's like I'm like on an adrenaline rush. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I got into abstract and I wanted to do it.
And I've seen you super active on Instagram. So I wanted to ask you, with the pandemia and being home and, has it affected you in a good way, in a bad way? Are you being able to create? Are you creating something different?
So I went full time in January. So being home, I'm an introvert as well. So being home is not a problem for me. But when it comes to the pandemic, I had to start using paper instead of canvases because you couldn't find them, the shipping, everything was closed, and just using what I had. So for me, I have to create. If I don't create, I get very like moody and I'm just like I just have to create. Like It's like I'm moody. But when I do create, I'm just like very free flowing, and I'm not so like anxious or anything like that. I don't have anxiety. So I'm really a big advocate for art therapy. So I feel like it heals people and it also helps people. And it's an amazing thing. Let's just say
It
that.
is an amazing thing. And I know you have some background in psychology too. So I think that, you are applying it for yourself, but also for others when you're trying to do this. You go live and you show people what you do and how you go about it. So I think it's very therapeutic. I think it's therapeutic not only for the artist, but also for people that they've never really had art before in their lives. I think this is the time to really go at it and really get out of your head and do something that you don't really have to think about.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your process. What is your process? How do you start a painting?
So when I start paintings, I always have a color palette in mind. I pick out my paints that I want to use. Um, because I love color theory. I love how colors interact to each other. So I'm I like if I get inspired by like I love interior design. So it's like if I get inspired by someone's decor or room, or if I'm driving down the street, I'm like, oh my God, those flowers. Like I try to remember that. So I set my color palette up. I usually paint standing up instead of sitting down, because you get a whole different type of energy than sitting down. But I start with a lot of mark making, and then I just go for it. I'm in there, I'm creating. And then I also just meditate on my paintings after that. After that, like I do a lot of layers. So that first layer is just mark making, putting the paint down. And then after that, I'm an educator as well. So I teach fine art. So it's like I have to think about composition, value, all the things that comes um, with art. So I just basically just go and like clean it up, as I would say, and that just gets everything together. And then I still am making marks on there just to make sure I'm still feeling the energy come through it.
So
So,
tell us about your teachings. Tell us where are you teaching and what kind of what do you teach?
all right, so I teach ceramics, I teach painting, drawing, oil painting, acrylic. I know how to do pastels, all the things. So before January, that's what I was doing. I did it for about 6 years. I still do ceramics every now and then. And then I decided to just do full time of just doing my art, and then sometimes doing uh, educating workshops, because I love teaching technique, and but also being very free flow when I teach. So yeah.
So how do you go about it? Are you teaching on Zoom? Are you teaching how are you doing it right now?
I'm doing on Zoom. I'm teaching on Zoom, so I do private lessons, and I only do it to a couple people, right? I only offer it to a couple people that I know that like they're gonna benefit to it. I haven't advertised it to the public yet. With the
But
private
it's
lesson.
something that you're brewing and it's
Yeah,
you're right. It's
it's
something that
coming.
it's coming on the
Yeah,
website and it's a working in process. Like everybody has projects and stuff. I think that's an
yes.
amazing project for you to have. I think that there's so many people that are going to benefit from your teachings and what you have to say. So, do you use mainly acrylic or oils, or you combine, or what do you do?
I only use acrylic and acrylic paint, and I also add like mediums to them. So if I want them to dry quicker, be thicker, then be wet a little bit longer, I just add different mediums to them if I need to.
And I think that that's important also for people to learn. There's so many mediums that can help your painting. It is incredible that you can create thick texture. You can create layers by doing very thin textures. You know, there's all different kind of varnishes and this and that, and it's just like you have to put yourself out there. And sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, on the in the art supply stores, they have huge sales of like just weird things that you've never tried before. Buy them, try them, right?
Especially at Michael's, it's like if you want to experiment, they always have like a 40 or 70% coupon. So if like there's something you want to experiment with, you just get the coupon, like I'm just gonna try this modeling page, see if it works out. If it
Exactly.
doesn't, you're learning something. But I'm pretty sure if you use any medium, you're like, I like how this happened. You may not like using it all the time, but you might just be like, I really like how this works.
Yeah. And when you're working standing up, are you working against the wall or are you working on an easel?
I do both. So sometimes it's on the wall, sometimes it's on the floor, the table, the easel. It just depends on like what I'm trying to do. And like if I need really loose marks, it's on the wall and on the floor. If I'm trying to be really focused on something, it's on the table and the easel.
Yeah, because
So
I think on
yeah.
the table you can really focus yourself and not move as much and really, especially if you're doing detail work on
Hmm.
smaller pieces, it's easier to be sitting than standing. Um,
Yes.
I find myself standing all the time. I rarely sit, but that's just me. I have this like in and out with my paintings, and they're larger. So I think that, you know, you have this movement with them, the stands that I
Yeah.
call that you move in and you move out, and it's important to have that. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about the painting that you have behind you.
Okay, so this is just canvas on here. It's just unstretched canvas. It's not primed, so it has like a lot of, that's like a grip.
Yeah.
I really don't like primed canvases, but this is just like different marks on here. Like if I have extra paint, I paint on this. I just have like all these different marks. So I have some materials that I do use for mark making. So I have different palette knives
Yep.
here. And for really good marks is to use like an old brush. So I never throw away any brushes. So they're a little rough around the edges and you just dig them in there. You hold your hand at the beginning, or I really like long ones. So you just have to move your hand back and get nice and loose on your canvas. Another thing, I have like three other materials that are not really traditional. So I have a stick here, and this is really good for mark making. I like to carve into my paintings.
Yeah.
I also do like subtracting, so it's like I may have stuff on there and I just have to pull it back and just go through it, and you can see what's underneath it instead of just like I'm gonna try to put that color back on top. And it's like you want to see how the other color affects that layer that's already there.
And that's where the
Um,
palette knives comes in place, right?
Yes, you
Yeah.
just scrape it off. So I like Home Depot and I like Lowe's. So this is what I use on large areas, just to just scrape it on there for like a big mark.
Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a
And
smooth surface or that has a tooth to it?
it has a tooth.
Okay. Oh, it's like a
There's
sponge. Yeah.
it's like a brush, but really small little marks because they're used for people that paint walls. Like, so I do murals, so I can use that for a mural and go right on the edge of the wall.
So,
And
yeah.
I was like, let me bring that into the studio. I was like, I like that.
Yes.
Also, there is this. It's from the kitchen area. It gives you some really nice marks on there. Um, you can go to like a dollar store, just go to your kitchen area, see what's in there that you can play around with. Because I'm really about experimentation. So like some people are like beginners, so it's really about experiment until you figure out what you like.
So
So,
now that you say that, what are like 3 tips that you have for beginners?
all right. So one is to, let me be strategic. Okay, so one is to just experiment with whatever it is. Like if you want to try out oils and you're like, I just want to try it, just go get a small pack, try it out. If you like watercolor, go get a small pack. Any small pack, just experiment with different mediums that you would like. Like with me, it's like, yes, I can paint with oil painting. I can paint with oil paints, but it takes too long for me. Like I get really impatient with oil painting. So like
Me too.
acrylic.
Yeah.
One is just to dedicate some time to it. Some people are like, I really don't have time and this and that. And it's like a good 5 or 10 minutes just to create. It's gonna make your day better. Everyone else is gonna like it. You might find something that you're great at. And then the other one is to just be like confident, like believe in yourself. Because it's like, you meet a lot of artists and it takes them so long to be confident in what they do. Like with me, I wasn't confident back like when I had first started. But once I did, it's like it was over. Like I was like, I love what I do. This is what I do, you know? So yeah. But yeah, that's my 3 tips.
Well, and I think that what you said in the beginning, just being exposed to all these different things. So if you don't know really what you like or want, just experiment here, there. You might like ceramics, you might like sculptures, you might like jewelry making, there's the options are endless, right? So just start somewhere.
Yes, I believe it. Because it's
Yeah.
like sometimes it's like you're like,
Excuse me.
I really want to be a painter, and you end up being really great at jewelry making. So yeah.
Right. One thing takes you to the other thing, I think, always.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of just starting something. So you talked about doing murals, and I know
Yeah.
on your website you show some of your murals, and they're pretty big and completely different than abstract. So they're more
Yeah.
figurative, they have a theme. There's especially one that has on a double garage that you did that
Yeah.
is like uh, buses. And can you talk to us what is the process and how you got involved in doing murals?
My first mural was with a nonprofit that's against domestic violence, and that's what I advocate for. Like I'm donating everything to domestic violence nonprofits and people that help. But I got into murals because the lady was like, "Do you paint murals?" And I was like, "No, I don't, but I'm always up for whatever." So she's like, okay. She's like, so we have an art therapy room. We want this to be very relaxation. We want people to feel really calm coming in here, which that's my art in general. So it's a little chaos, but it really calms you and you're just drawn to it. So I painted the mural. It is a landscape. It's a beachscape. It looks like you're looking into the water. It's beautiful. I love painting clouds anyway. So if you look at some of my art, you might see a cloud in there, not intentional, but because that's what I do. I cloud watch and water watch a lot to get inspiration. So yeah, that's how I got into murals. I painted for them. Once I did that, someone else asked me to do like an Airbnb, and I was like, sure. And that was a Charlotte skyline. I did all these like little lines everywhere, straight lines, and she loved it. But the one you're talking about, the 2-car garage, he
Yeah.
works at the Charlotte Metro. He's like one of the people there, and he was like, he's been doing this for 25 years. He really wants something. Um, that was him, and showed his journey of him being like coming from like starting from the bottom, literally cleaning buses, to being like the owner of some of the stuff in Charlotte. So
So it's a
he,
tribute to him, really.
yeah.
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 So
And
someone just asked me where if you had a picture of your murals. She does, and in her website you can find them. And I'm gonna, make sure that you guys know where to find all her paintings and the mural work that we're talking about. So how did you get involved with a nonprofit? With
um how to get in okay, so I do so I teach ceramics at a nonprofit. And so basically that's how I got into the world, because I feel like community is a really big thing. And I was like, I need to find people that are about the community and not necessarily about themselves. So I really wanted to find and work with people that are about community. That's how I got into the nonprofit world. And they,
and
like, I met, yeah,
and you've been able to help a lot of these women, haven't you?
yeah, because I donate work. I've been donating to Safe Alliance for about 3 years. Every year it's 2 to 3 pieces. They all sell. All the proceeds goes to them. So I try to make, I think the highest I've done is like $1,000.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And
And do you happen to meet them and know them and help them physically, or is it just by donating your work, or how are you going about this?
I don't meet the people because I get very like emotional, and they had asked me before to do like some art workshops, and I wanted to, but that type of emotion through art, like I felt like I wouldn't be able to um help,
Heal, heal.
yeah, heal or do that part of it. But it's like I can raise money to make the facility better. I can do art projects. I help, like the people that are on their board and stuff like that. It's like they're like whenever they ask me for anything or, to do this project or that project, I always do it. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's nothing better than to help and to give. And I know that firsthand by doing this project and together my army of artists, like and that you being part of it, we're helping thousands of people that are in huge need right now. And so
Yeah.
coming to the end almost of July, can't wait to show the collection for June and July, and hoping to make again a lot of money for Feeding America. And so can't wait to do that. But that feeling of helping others is
Mhm.
there's nothing like it.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree. It's very rewarding. It's very rewarding.
It is. It is. There's no words. So show us a little bit around your little studio that you just moved in yesterday.
Very good. So I'm gonna show you a little corner of my studio. I'm gonna bring you guys with me. Ooh, I'm gonna jump. All right. So I have a couple of prints that are hanging up, and I have some of my artwork on my work table.
Okay,
So
I'm going to turn off the comments for a second, and then I'll
Okay.
turn them back on. Okay, great.
All right. So I have canvas on the back of this to protect the wall. A little bit of plastic here. So this is a print that I have at Minted in West Elm. So they sell that. They sent that as a gift.
How
And
how
then
did you get
these
involved in that?
on Minted, like they had a competition, and I ended up just going ahead and doing that. And then I won, and then West Elm picked it up from them. So yeah,
That's
that's
amazing. Congratulations.
thank you. So I do prints of my work, and these are chest prints that I have. So there's these, and then that's the bigger one
Yeah, I love
here.
that. That has so
So I
much
love,
room for you to breathe, and I love the mark making and the brush strokes there. I
thank
love the
you. Let me
color
turn this.
combination there. It's the color palette. The last one.
Yes, thank you.
That's
That was
yeah.
Depth of Freedom. All right.
That was what?
So I said that's called Depth of Freedom. It was like a collection I made back in November. It was one of my
Oh,
favorite collections I made. So I made prints of it because people kept on asking about it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do some test prints and get everything together for it. So yeah.
so now
It-
you can find those prints if people want to buy them in your website, correct?
yes. Yes,
Soon,
I have for prints
soon.
there. So, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
the prints are
yeah.
there. I make them pre-order. I don't print them offhand. I just make sure that the tests are perfect and they look like the actual painting.
Yeah.
So
And the
yeah.
one from Minted and West Elm, that is there and they sell it, right?
Yeah. So it's like a licensing deal. So basically
Yeah.
they sell it on their website and yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. That's awesome.
Thank you. And I do some critiques with West Elm, not West Elm, but with Minted artists. So it's pretty cool. I like doing it.
And where do you do that? Um,
Through Minted, they have like a group and basically, like I think a couple months ago I did North Carolina artists. So a couple of people wanted their work to be critiqued. I got my work critiqued too, because it's always you always want to improve. So
it's
yeah.
important for sure. Yeah. Critique is very much part of your work, right? So you need to
Yes.
know how to be positive in critiquing someone and then
Mm-hmm.
also getting that critique back.
Yes.
I have my mentor who I always refer to, Stephen Amony, who his way of critiquing is phenomenal because he gives you like, and I said that to him sometimes without even him talking to me. His silence is louder than his words, and I know how to go about it. So it's really amazing to find that person or your community around you that can give you that back because you can really grow so much from a good critique.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. I want to show you guys some of like my actual original art. I have a couple that I pulled out. I have some minis and I have like a medium-sized painting. So I'm gonna turn
Yeah.
you around.
Okay.
All right. So I like painting large and small, but these are the minis that I love. These are like 4x4. They got like a really good texture. I love the layers, and this is like there's like modeling paste to make it thicker.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then this one has like heavy body paint here. And this has a little bit of gold leaf.
I was
I
going
also
to
use
ask
like,
you if that's gold leaf. Yeah.
yes. And it has varnish on it, so it doesn't um burn
Do you use
I forgot
like a
the name.
flat varnish or a gloss or semi-gloss?
Um I use high gloss.
High
I
gloss.
love high gloss. If a client asks for like satin or matte, I put that on there, but I always do a high gloss to protect the paint.
Yeah.
These are some other ones. I love all the mark making here. And it's
Do
like I
you
pre-plan. Hmm?
are those mixed media?
No, this is all acrylic.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, this is all acrylic. I just use, and I paint the edges. I love gallery wrap because you don't have to frame them.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
but yeah, but this is all acrylic. Here's a larger one here, and this has like all the marks on there, so you
And
can
there
see
you can
that.
see more the tools that you were talking about in the beginning.
Yes. So
Your
just
brush
doing different
strokes.
layers.
Yeah. So is
Yes,
that
this is a work in
I was
progress.
going to ask you that. Okay.
This is like the maybe two layers on, oops, this is one's like two layers on this one. So I definitely will be making a lot more marks on here because that's how I like my work. But
Yeah.
also having like a little bit of like quiet, calm areas in
Yeah,
here.
yeah, I see that. It kind of resonates with the other one that you have there
Yeah,
that has that breathing room,
yeah,
which I really enjoyed. Yeah, that one.
yeah,
Yeah, I really, really enjoy that one because it just gives you that, almost you want to take a deep breath, with
yeah.
it. and it just finds you doing that, and it finds you wanting to just stare at it and breathe and kind of meditate with it.
Yeah. Huh. I agree. But yeah, all of my art usually has something like that. So it's not just a whole lot going on. So this one has a little bit of quietness over here.
Yeah.
Same with these.
Yeah, I agree. And can you show us that big painting that was behind you?
Yeah. Give me one sec. Sorry, I'm so close to the.
That's okay. No worries. Because that's a whole different scale. That's way bigger.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Let me move mine. But yeah, that's huge. That's like almost the full wall here.
Wall.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
raw canvas, right?
Yeah, it's raw canvas, not primed. I will seal it with varnish later when it's actually done. It's not done. So you have like all these lovely marks here, everything that's going on.
That
A little
looks
bit
like
more
you
bling.
use more drawing materials, or no? Is it still only acrylic?
It's only acrylic.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
just, yeah. So with the brushes I had here,
Yeah.
there's different sizes. So you have your
Yeah.
small, so that's probably about that size. That's a medium brush.
Yeah. It's interesting
Yeah.
because the value of the painting also changes a little bit. And
Yeah.
so that's why I thought you had a mixed media in there. Um,
No. And this
Interesting.
is just
I love that.
acrylic.
Yeah.
It's just water and acrylic in here.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
there's like different drips happening. And I like to flip my art a lot. So I don't just paint it one direction. I flip it in different angles.
And you paint
Yeah.
on unstretched canvas, correct?
No. So
No?
I get no, I only a couple of these. That's because I wanted to try, like I was experimenting. So I wanted to paint on unstretched canvas. What I realized is that I don't like stretching canvases.
It's more expensive, but I actually like working on unstretched because you can go really deep into them without worrying about the bouncing back or that you're going to hurt the canvas or that you're going to make a dent on it. And so I
Yeah,
really enjoy, the unstretched, but then you have to stretch them, unfortunately, and that costs money.
yeah, I don't like stretching, but I'm definitely not delicate with my canvases. So you just want to make, like, I think with stretch canvases, you have to get the ones that you know will last because it's like mine's on the wall. It might fall off the wall. You're painting on the floor. I don't like step on my paintings or anything like that, but it's like I'm very, like, if I'm work making or if I'm digging my stick into it or my palette knife to make marks, I just want to make sure that it's durable. You don't want really thin canvases. So getting a really
Yeah, the
high quality
gallery
canvas.
wrap are yeah. So it's better to invest if you're doing a stretch canvas, make sure to invest on a
Mhm.
good stretch canvas versus just a regular thin
Yeah,
canvas. Unless you're gonna frame it beautifully later, then it doesn't really matter.
right. True.
So, who are your inspirations? What inspires you?
Hmm. So water inspires me. The sky, like nature really inspires me. I don't get by water often, but I still have the feeling of water. I've lived around water my whole life. So definitely great memories. And the sky, nature. Um,
Anyone in particular?
let's see. Well, I would say for living artists, I really enjoy, I'm trying to think. I like a lot of artists. So it's like I don't have like a top five, but I do follow a lot of artists that I'm inspired by. Like I love Amira's work. I love Addie's work. I love Danica that was up here. I love her
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
Nancy, she was on here too. She has
yeah,
great art. I
yeah.
love her art.
Yeah, and she has amazing program of teaching. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, she's an incredible teacher, and so yeah, I mean, I think that, it's fascinating because now we can find our inspiration right there on Instagram, right? Like you just
Yeah.
go and browse, and you're like, oh my God, I really like this. It's just so
That's,
easy to find, right, inspiration
yeah.
anywhere, really. But I think that what you were saying is that also you like interior design and you like all these things that give you an idea of what your color palette is going to look like or your strokes are going to look like or what would look nice in this particular room or not. And so I think that's important to know also when you start to have an idea of where you're going.
Yeah.
um, Although sometimes when you don't know, the best things come out of that.
Yeah.
Right?
I
If you're not
agree.
in your head as much as in your heart, you can just go and that's it. That's all you need.
Definitely
So,
true. I agree.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
also seeing art in person. So Charlotte has different museums and gallery openings. I have gallery crawls. I try to get out to well, when we were going out and had those things, um, that's what I like to do. I like to be able to go out and see art in person because there's nothing like seeing art in person.
I agree. There's nothing better than that. And just being able to be in that space and breathe that space. You want to it's like food for your soul. You get energized and you start fresh in your own studio. So I hope that we get to that point again where we can have the gallery gatherings and, you know,
Hmm.
studio visits. Studio visits
Yeah.
are incredible. You
Yeah.
never know. I think that if you ask a lot of the artists if you're going to be in their area, they will let you come in. You just need to
Yeah.
ask. And so it's a really cool thing to be able to be inside an artist studio, a working artist studio.
Yeah.
They're usually very open. They can teach you a lot. You can see their work, talk about their work. So um, it's really fun to do that.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
yeah. So tell
Yeah.
us where can we find you? Where can we see your stuff? Tell us all about
Um,
that.
So I'm very active on Instagram. And I have a website. It's LaDaraMcKinnon.com. I have Facebook. I'm on there sometime. It's
Okay.
LaDara from Art. If you're local to Charlotte, even if you're not local, both of them have online stores. So there's Adrian with the Dressing Room Boutique in Cotsworth Marketplace. Both of those places, I have my art at. So if you want to purchase stuff from them or my online shop, it's up to them. And also, like, I'm always open to like questions and stuff like that. So you can just message me on here and I'll send you a message back.
Yeah, which is a great thing. We try to always answer questions, especially if you're interested in our work. Someone just asked, where are you located? But I think it's in your own home, right? So
Yeah,
your
I'm in
studio.
my studio. So my studio, I have a home studio. I've always had a home studio. Unless I'm working on clay, that's at a different location. But there's nothing for me. It's nothing like being home. I get my energy here. I love where I stay. Like I love my home. So, and I just dedicate one of my rooms to my studio so I can work.
That's great. Well, thank you so, so much. This was so great. Thank you for opening your doors and getting ready for this interview. I know it was so much for you for today, so I really
It's
appreciate you being part of this project and joining me and showing us all your beautiful artwork. And I'll tell everyone everything that there's need to be said about LaDara. I'll just posted, and please look up her work and her website and buy work and commission her. She's amazing. So
Thank you. Thank
thank
you
you.
for having me.
Yes,
It
of
was really
course.
nice. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy you're here and everybody saying they love your work.
Thank
So
you.
it's amazing. I love your work. I love you. You're a beautiful person inside and out. The little that I've
got to know you. I feel like I have a new friend in you, and it's just been amazing. So it's been incredible to meet with you and have you in this program today. So thank you, and we'll be in touch soon. And I'll see everyone on Wednesday with Jose Cacho all the way from Mexico City.
All right, awesome. Thank you. I really
Take
enjoyed
care.
this.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.